A very good evening to you all. I just want to say something very quickly. I know we are pretty much short on time. There is a great challenge, and just sitting down here and listening to all the speakers that came in, you realize that there almost needs to be a state of emergency in our education sector. And if we do not take this to heart, there is a kind of explosion that would happen in so short a time, just like one of the speakers said earlier, as to where Nigeria will be in 2045 or in 2050. On the 14th of March in 2014, 500,000 young Nigerians between the ages of 18 and 35 all converged at different stadia all across the country. I was in Abuja then, and I witnessed 68,000 people cramped in the Abuja National Stadium, and they were all in search of a particular job at the Nigerian Immigration Service. We had 7.5 million people apply online to get a job in that same agency. It tells you that something really big is going on. There is a dearth of unemployment, but yet an abundance of skill that has not been refined. And so sometime about 6 years ago, I was working as a consultant with CNN International then, and we were producing a lot of TV commercials for companies and state governments across Africa that wanted to maximize their visibility on the platform. And we discovered that a number of those television commercials were being rejected because they were not shot well. And so companies will spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to go to places like South Africa to shoot a simple television commercial to be aired on CNN. And in one of those encounters with a bank, I was to produce a TV commercial, and I was expected to shoot outside of Nigeria. And I knew we could do this in just a short time. So I called some young boys at the University of Lagos, who I knew were very skilled, and I put them separately, and I told them, these are the filters I want you to use, this is how I want this to be shot. And in 1 week, we came up with this television commercial. I didn't tell the bank that we shot here in Nigeria. I was waiting for us to get paid first before telling them that. So after 4 weeks, I went to them and said, we're ready. And the head of corporate communications sat down, and they watched this particular advert, and everybody was excited. I waited for them to pay me my monies first, and then I told them, guys, we shot this thing here in Lagos. Nobody believed it. These were guys who had it in them. They were animators, they were editors, they were producers, but they needed something or somebody to believe in them and help refine those skills for them to be able to create those products. And so those young men received monies in dollars that they had not received in their entire lives for just a 1 week TV commercial that they produced. Our brother Charles Igwe said something here about Enugu State, and I'm very well aware that about 80 to 85% of most Nollywood productions are actually done here in Enugu State. And yet, what is the creative way of mobilizing the energies of all the creative people in Nollywood and ensuring that you're able to make a success out of it? 5 years ago, we signed a partnership deal with the New York Film Academy, and we brought in 28 lecturers from Los Angeles and New York into Nigeria. And we had a 1-month training program for some of the most talented students all across the country. And in 5 years, we have flown in 78 lecturers from Los Angeles and New York into Nigeria. We've trained over 1,423 students all across the country. And 98% of all of the people that were trained were all sponsored to attend our training programs. They were fed breakfast, lunch, and dinner on a daily basis. All the lecturers that came in, even in spite of the travel advice from the US for them to come into Nigeria, they still came in to attend those training programs. And some of the works that you see, at least about 65% of most of the new music videos you see are produced by our students. And we've done this just with recognizing that there was a gap in the industry and it needed to be closed. What we want to say here today about Enugu State is this. When India realized this gift that they had in ICT, they began to churn out universities to hone the skills of people who were in the ICT industry. And they changed the entire nation. If you call India, it's synonymous with ICT. Enugu State can build a film academy. It can build the right structures that can hone the skills of thousands of young Nigerians who are talented and gifted. They can sign co-production treaties with governments outside of this country, with the US, with St. Lucia's. A number of countries are looking for strategic partnership that they could build. Create a tax haven here for people who have or want to create some international productions and sign those co-production treaties with them. Because so many of these people, I get calls on a daily basis from students all across the country wanting to get an education in the film industry. So what do we do with that talent? So it's important that a state like Enugu State creates a pilot for what is possible in Nollywood. You have the third largest film industry in the world, yet we do not have an international, world-class training academy for the people that we churn out. It's a misnomer, and it's something that this government should sit down. If this investment summit was dedicated to the support of the growth of the creative industry in Nigeria, it would go a very long way. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the new Enugu State.